So I'm going to share the way of a Bodhisattva. So way of a Bodhisattva has 10 chapters. We finish the first 5 chapters, I think. First 5 chapters finish. So now we are right now today. So chapter 6. Chapter 6 is called the patience. Then this chapter talk about chapter's name is patience. Then the main teaching in the chapter. So first is we have to the verses talk about we have to abandon the anger. Then how to meditate, practice the patience. Second section is. Then third section is respect for other beings. So included these 3 aspects or 3 main topics in this patience chapter is. The first is we talk about we have to abandon the anger. So if we don't if we don't purify anger, the anger destroy our many lifetimes virtuous deeds. So that's the reason here. First verses. Whatever wholesome deeds, such as venerating the Buddhas and the generosity that have been amassed over 1,000 eons, were all destroyed in one moment of anger. So we create virtuous deeds through the body, through the speech, and giving generosity, doing some, the practice dharma, morality, that kind of virtuous deeds is one moment anger can destroy. So not only just short-term, virtuous deeds, like 1,000 eons means like long, many, countless lifetimes virtuous deeds removed. So result is removed. So that means like ordinary people, not easy to liberate because ordinary people easily arise anger. So long as anger arises, you see here, 1,000 eons virtuous deeds is removed. So then not only just one lifetime, think about. And that means like really we don't have any good deeds stay with us because when anger comes, all good deeds is removed. So that's the reason. Main point is when we practice the Dharma, followed by 3 excellences: mind generation, and stay in the samadhi, dedication. So that use these 3 excellences, then anger cannot remove our virtuous deeds. So probably, I'm not 100% sure, probably, long as you have a mind generation, generated like generation, long as you have a kind of a bodhicitta, could be anger cannot destroy that kind of virtuous deeds. then of course the samadhi cannot destroy. Long as you do the body's virtuous and speech virtuous deeds is dedicated for other beings, that kind of virtue also anger cannot destroy. So other then just we do something good deeds through the body, good deeds through the speech. If you don't have the good intention, mind generation, and you don't have a samadhi, if you don't do the dedications, then that kind of virtuous deeds, when anger arises, 1,000 eons virtuous deeds is removed. So then here, also, you have to know some other teachings says like 100 eons virtuous deeds removed. Here says 1,000 virtuous deeds is, anger can removed. So that means like big different. Here, Shantidevas says 1,000, but then Chandrakirti says is 100. So that's the reason this some, philosophers like scholars, they said this this way of Bodhisattva Chandrakirti mention about 1,000 eons deeds removed means not ordinary people anger to ordinary people. So that means ordinary people really anger to the Bodhisattva. Then 1,000 virtuous deeds is removed. So then you ordinary people, anger to ordinary people could be 100 eons. So that is like the difference is you have to understand. So main point here, Shantideva said, whatever we do, the virtuous deeds, have to do the dedication and the mind generate and be in the samadhi. So something practice virtuous deeds is not only through the body and the speech. So use the mind, power of the mind. So mind is a principle. Long as you use the mind, then anger cannot destroyed. So like body's speech, body's virtuous deeds, speech virtuous deeds, anger can removed. So that's the reason. One thing is we have to really careful when anger arises, and anger destroy our happiness in this life. And not only that, anger can destroy like future lives happiness too. So that's the reason Shantideva said enemy is comparing to our anger. Our anger is 1,000 times worse than enemy. Our anger is more worse than anything. So ordinary enemy, they cannot remove our virtuous deeds. They cannot actually destroy our happiness. Especially they cannot destroy future life happiness. But anger can destroy in our virtuous deeds and in this life happiness, future life happiness. So that's the reason Shantideva say, really careful, when anger is arise, use antidote. So practice patience. So that's the reason this patience chapter is very important. So you learn this chapter, practice patience chapter, really help for your life. You can change your life. And this is all logically, you understanding. Not just like, oh, Shantideva, he's something special person, he said. So I believe, not like that. Whatever he says here is like makes sense for us. So you understanding clearly. So then we go to verses second. There is no evil like hatred, and no fortitude like patience. Thus, I should strive in virtuous way to meditate on patience. So many different kind of non-virtuous deeds. But Shantideva said, the hatred, anger is no fortitude like patience. Patience. No evil like hatred. So no any other words than emotions. The anger is most worst emotions because of strong negativity deeds. Result is very strong. When anger arises, then we killing other beings, destroy other beings' happiness. So then that's the reason that result is also our life is take to the lower realms. So that's why Shantideva said there's no evil like hatred. Anger is the most worst emotion and the negative deeds. So then, and no fortitude like patience. We have many different kind of practice of Dharma. The practice of patience is the very powerful, and also fortitude like patience is like strong. You did like effort, you know. So put hardship. Practice patience is not easy. We have to put hardship because someone create difficult for us. We cannot easily control our mind. So if you can control your mind, that means like you have to put effort, and same time you need like so through the difficulty you have to bear through that. So practice patience is not just easy going. We have to control anger, means have to put very strong so effort. So that's the reason Shantideva said, and no fortitude like patience. These two words always bring your mind. It's very good. So when anger arises, you think there's no evil like hatred. Then and you practice patience, and no fortitude like patience. So that is practice patience is very high level Dharma practice, and also through the hardship, difficulty practice, hardship. So think about all these masters. They have become enlightenment. They don't easily went to enlightenment, right? That did hardship, through hardship. So practice Dharma. Then we practice patience is a very hardship. Cultivate that, practice patience. That take us to and then liberation. So that's what we have to understand. That's the reason Shantideva said, thus I should strive in various ways to meditate on patience. We have to use so many different methods, so many different ways. We have to cultivate, practice patience. Control the anger is not easy. Easy to arise. Always a condition is there. So people can just easily create, unhappy, for others. So think about it. People can create easily unhappy for our, mind, because due to the conditions, the body or speech, they say something, or they see the body doing something, different actions, and that distract our mind and become first arise unhappy feeling, and then sad, and then that strong goes anger. So that's the reason we have to use like various ways to meditate on patience. Then verses 3, if the anger is be with our mind, then we never has happy. We never ever have happiness. My mind will not experience peace if it faster, painful talk of hatred. I shall find no joy or happiness. Unable to sleep, I shall feel unsettled. So anger is with our mind, then your mind is not peaceful. You never get any experience peace. So long as anger is there, thoughts of hatred. That's the reason I shall find no joy or happiness. I shall feel unsettled. So mind cannot be peace. We have our own experience. So usually very hard to put in the words. But here Shantideva give us all this, our problem is in the words easily to understand what our own problems. If we hate to somebody, so then mind think about that again and again. So that then you don't have a peace and joy. So then lose our happiness. Also, anger is you with your own mind. Then you cannot enjoy with your friends. You cannot enjoy with your family. You cannot enjoy with your house. Even you have beautiful house, you cannot enjoy with that. If you have a good meal, but you cannot feel good taste anything. And then think about if you go to sleep, if you have comfort, but long as anger, hatred is within your mind, you cannot feel any comfort to your bed. So then it's you lose your happy, you lose your joy. So your mind cannot be peaceful. So whatever we have, this object, circumstances or condition is great. Long as hatred, anger is be with our mind, we cannot never have a happy and joy. So that's we recognize our own experience. We know that, right? Everyone knows that. So then, we have to practice the patience, how to remove that, how to practice patience. So use this teaching, Shantideva here give us so good instructions for us. So now we go to the verses 4. A master who has hatred is in danger of being killed, even by those who, for their wealth and happiness, depending upon his kindness. It's really truth. So, this, master who has hatred, think about company's boss, this who has a temper, unhappy, always strong anger, the person has a hatred. So then that person also danger. It is in danger of being killed. Can be someone can kill him. You know why? Even by those who for the wealth and happiness depend upon this kindness. So even someone rely on that person. If you need a job, job is rely on your boss or your teacher or anyone your something you really depend on that person. If the person has anger, hatred, even you are relying on that person, that can be the, other co-workers or someone, who's dependent on that person, that can be care the boss. That many happening in this world, we know that. So if your boss also have a, like temper, anger, hatred, you also, workers also not happy, no one happy and peaceful. Because the same is like, be with the snake. Snake is representative is anger. So even snake no harms anyone, but long as you see the snake, every people get fears. Why? The reason is the snake is like someone who has anger that become reborn to the, snake is like heat-treated form body. The snake is representative like heat-treated form body. That's the reason snake even no harm for you, but everyone can fear and scared for snake. So like that, some who has anger and emotion strong, people scared to talk with them, and be with them peacefully, and always fear is like no peaceful, no happy. You don't know when that person is like, have strong anger arise. So that kind of then boss also even the help for the workers, but anyway the workers are always not happy. Maybe the workers can care the boss. Same is like say in the also lots of things happening in our schools. So some school like kids hatred to the teacher, they bring the gun, something shoot. So many things happening like that. So we knows, and also in the companies happening that. That's also say depending for them, but the boss don't have good kindness and who has hatred, then they're the affected for the workers, and then the workers also not happy. That's the reason there can be care. So that's also lots of situation happening in the world. We recognize that. Uh, then verses 5. By it, friends and relatives are disheartened, though drawn by my generosity, they will not trust me in belief there is nobody who lives happily with anger. So long as anger is there, someone has like hatred, strong all the time, then by it, friends and relatives are disheartened. They also like become not happy. They get disheartened, like sad, and nervous all the time with them. So that's the reason also the parents also very important, right? Kindness for kids. Is father has so temper and anger all the time. The mother kids are always nervous, not happy, very hard. And the mother has like so strong anger and emotion hatred. Then the father and the kids also not happy, and also another that maybe grandparents, anyone not happy there. All the family are not happy, no peace. So then of course the friends also not happy. If who has strong emotion, anger, they don't have cannot get many friends because due to the anger, and the friends also scared, feel not peaceful. So that's the reason we have to recognize our anger and we have to cultivate participation because we have to know the anger's negativity. So our anger destroy our own happiness, at the same time destroy others' happiness. See, here's friends and relatives are disheartened. And then though drawn by my generosity, they will not trust me. Even you giving food, clothes, money, many, whatever these material things you helping them, giving to them, but still they are not comfortable, not peaceful, and no trust. In belief, there is nobody who lives happily with anger. See, we recognize no one can be live happily with anger. Not only human beings, all the sentient beings too. So you see the animals also, like some animal has love. The other animals also can be with them comfortably, enjoy with each other together. Some other animal has hatred, try to harm others, then all the other animal also feel that scared, nervous all the time. So human being always same, we so many different kind of races, different cultures. Doesn't matter which races, cultures belong to you. This is a fact for everyone, truth for everyone. So no one can live happily with anger. So now we go to the verses 6. Hence the enemy, anger, creates suffering such as this. But however, assiduously overcomes it, finds happiness now and hereafter. So anger is always bring suffering such as this all the time for everyone. All the beings get suffering through the anger. That's the reason we have to use, practice patience, antidote anger, but however, as sagaciously overcome it, so we have to use something method, overcome to the anger. So that is practice patience. Practice patience is can overcome to anger. If you use practice patience, then practice patience bring you happiness, finds a happiness, now and hereafter, in this life and the future lives. So practice patience bring the happiness. Anger is the causes of suffering. Anger creates suffering. So that's the reason we have to use mindful alertness, practice patience. Practice patience have overcome to our emotion anger. Then we can find happiness in this life and the future life. So that is the verses 6. Now we go to the verses 7. Having found its fear of mental unhappiness in the prevention of what I wish for and in the doing of what I do not want. Hatred increases and then destroys me. So then where is anger is come from? So anger is come from, having found its fear of mental unhappiness. So we wanting something and then someone disrupt that or stop that. So having found its fear of mental unhappiness. In the prevention of what I wish for. So we want to do something good, but then you wanted to have to done something and someone someone, create an obstacle or stop what you want to do. So that kind then bring the anger. So hatred, anger is actually come from, see, body and the speech for others. So like you want something, then the find is fear of mental unhappiness. So in the prevention of what I wish for, and in the drawing of what I do not want. Something we don't want, so then someone create that we cannot stop that, someone create for us. So that's bring the anger. Heat increases, the anger is increases, and then destroys me. Anger is increases in our mind, so the anger destroy our self. That means like destroy our happiness. So here that verses 7 is the main point is talking about, anger is like where it's come from. So mentally unhappiness, also, prevention of what I wish for, or and the doing what I do not want, something happening. So that all bring the anger, create anger. Then anger arises our mind. We are not happy and peace, destroys me. So now we go to the verses 8. Therefore, I should totally eradicate the fear of this enemy. For this enemy has no other function than that of causing me harm. So this enemy is like, therefore, I should totally eradicate the fear of this enemy. This enemy is anger, hatred. So we're not talking about some other people's hatred. This is talking about our own anger, our own hatred. So that's why it's the fear of this enemy. This is our enemy. Our own anger is our enemy. So for this enemy has no other function than that of causing me harm. So comparing to our own anger, no any other like enemies can harm for us. So I already just shared with you other ordinary enemies that cannot destroy our happiness long as you practice patience. So also the ordinary enemies cannot destroy like our future life happiness. They cannot put into the lower realms us. So sometimes like ordinary enemy is like really support our practice. Ordinary enemy help us to take us to liberation. Because as long as you practice patience. So then this enemy is for this enemy has no other function, not like that. So then that over causing me harm means like harm in this life, harm for future lives. Means like anger is the strongest non-virtuous deeds. So the result is anger appearance result is hell realms. Anger can put us in the hell realms. We can be suffering many eons in the hell realms. Then anger like destroy our happiness, like we create virtuous deeds many lifetimes. anger can destroy all these virtuous deeds and destroy happiness too. So that's the reason the anger is most worst enemy, our enemy. Then that of causing me harm. So that's the reason Shantidevas say we have to practice patience. Verses 9. Whatever befalls me, I shall not disturb my mental joy. For having been made unhappy, I shall not accomplish what I wish, and my virtue will decline. So whatever like we have to bear through or difficulty through, so I shall not disturb my mental joy. We not let anger is arise in our mind. So whatever difficult arise, not let anger is arise into your mind. If we cannot stop the angers, so anger destroy our happiness. That's the reason Shantideva said, I shall not disturb my mental joy. So then, for having been made unhappy, so this anger also made unhappy. If like this means like me important is like something, like make you difficulty. If you create unhappy and hatred and anger, so I shall not accomplish what I wish, and my virtue will decline. So even anger arises, your job cannot be successful. Even your job is not successful, also that anger destroy your happiness and decline your virtuous deeds. So that means like Shantideva, the main point is that don't let anger arise, whatever difficulty go through. Don't disturb your happiness mind. Don't anger let arise. Don't let anger destroy your happy and the mental joy. So some circumstances like object create you anger. If anger is arise, but job is in anywhere cannot be successful. So that's the reason for having been made unhappy. Like if you're not happy, if you are anger, but I shall not accomplish what I wish. So whatever you want to do, what you want to wish, the job is even anger, you create anger, the job cannot be done successful. It's become great, cannot be great. So then also anger virtues, my virtues were declining. So that's the reason Shantideva said, don't let anger arise in your mind. Anger arise your mind, destroy your joy and happy. And even anger arise, nothing benefit you, become your job is successful. And the cannot, finish like what you wanted to do something, cannot wish for that, fear that. So then also anger destroy our virtuous deeds. This is also very good statement, if you can bring these things, or anger is arise. So if anger arise or destroy my happiness, then you see some people there or people or anything, or circumstances, object that create you anger. If you look to yourself, really I use anger, the job is anyway cannot be successful, cannot be done good way. So you can recognize that, then let go anger, use practice patience. So otherwise, anger can destroy what we wanted to do, the job, and then also anger destroy our virtuous deeds too. See, the many negatives one by one, long as anger arises in our mind. So if like someone, you wanted to do something, example, like someone disturbed you, then you try to let go that. So anger arises, you're going to fight with them, and then they are not happy, you are not happy, become so true, both are anger and unhappy is create so much causes of suffering there each other. Then never ever you can done what you want. So not only that problem, the anger actually destroy all our virtuous deeds. So that's the reason something like related to your job, think about these words. Okay, that's really helpful. Then you think, oh, I cannot be anger because otherwise I harm to that person and harm to me. Sometimes anger comes, we wanted to harm that person, but that is anger's power. But we have to recognize, anyway, job is cannot be successful. You wanted to do something, if anger is there, you cannot done that job correctly. Then you think, if anger arises from my mind, I cannot done my job. So then you let go the anger. Also then, if you go to more deeper thinking, oh, anger can destroy my many virtuous deeds. So then let's go again. So that kind, we have to, these words, teaching have bring to our mind. That's really helpful. So we have to use this Shantidevas instruction, and then when anger, emotion comes, we cultivate these words, think about this, and then that's really helpful. First, anger is not arise. Even anger is arise, not going to stay very long with our mind. This teaching helps can release. So anger is not going to increasing our mind. So really, really helpful. Use these words like you just cultivate again and again. Then verses 10. Why be unhappy about something if it can be remedied? And what is the use of being unhappy about something if it cannot be remedied? These words is usually His Holiness Dalai Lama share all the time again and again. This one is very popular quote too. So that's also like good thing to easy to like you remember these words easy. You can easily like kind of bring your mind. So why be unhappy about something if it can be remedied? Something like you can change, situation. Then why we have to unhappy? Why we have to anger? So that's helps. Like think about like you doing something job. Some obstacles there. So then if you can use some method, you can change that. then why you create so much unhappy, sad feeling yourself? Because it can change, can be remedied. You can change that job. Your unhappy, sad, this heat-rated doesn't have anything. No need there, actually, no need that things. Because you can fix that things. You can fix. It's possible to change something. So that's the reason you don't have to unhappy. Yeah. So that is like really great thing. Sometimes like you something wrong, something happening, then you more open your mind, think about again, you can fix that. You can fix that problem. Then you don't have to unhappy because you can fix that problems. Then some things you cannot change. Some already like done, mistake, did a problem, or something you did already wrong, you cannot fix. Then Shantidevas said, let go. Don't fixation to that. If you are not happy, doesn't have anything. So unhappy is torture ourselves. Not going to fix the job. Job is anyway cannot be fixed. Already wrong, already done, whatever goes wrong, is already wrong. Nothing can fix, no one can fix. So let go is better, don't create unhappy. So that is really great, this two, this verses 10 is. So you can change, you can fix, you can be remedied, then you don't have to unhappy. Something you cannot do that, cannot be remedied, then you don't have to unhappy about something, So these words helps you change your life, actually. You use this one, you never stuck with the suffering. So we have this special teaching instructions. See, we are lucky, because we can let go this unhappy and emotion like can be let go. Use these words. Change our life. So then we go to the verses 11. Verses 11 is the main point is participation. So that is like verses 1 to all the way verses 10. That is so the how to we have to purify anger. How to practice patience. So that is the talk about that verses 1 to 10. And now verses 11 starting here is so we have to recognize object of the patient. So if you're going to shoot arrow, you have to recognize where is your target. So now we're going to practice patience. So we have to recognize practice patience object. Where is anger is come from? So who going to make us difficulty? So where is the emotion is like who, like object of the emotion come from? So that is verses 11. For myself and for my friends, I want no suffering, no disrespect, no harsh words, and something unpleasant. But for my enemies, is it the opposite? So first we have to recognize the object of the patient. For myself, so our self, and also for my friends, then our relatives, families, So I want no suffering. That is like ordinary people think that, always protecting that. We don't want suffering. No disrespect. We don't get no disrespect. Ourselves and our friend and our family. So we don't want to hear harsh words, no harsh words. And nothing unpleasant. We don't want that things. Ourselves, our friends, relatives, families, we don't want that. So where does this come from? Come from actually body, also speech. So suffering is like, other people's create or due to the object, the suffering arise. And the suffering arise through, come from the body. And then also suffering is like come from harsh words and also unpleasant hearing things. So that is create the unhappy feeling. So we don't want that ourselves. Then, but for my enemy is it the opposite. My enemy is opposite means we want suffering our enemies. We want to disturb our enemies, disrespect. We wish, also harsh words and unpleasant to our enemies. So that's the reason anger is arise. Anger is come from object, So main point this verses talk about. We're going to practice patience. We're going to practice patience. We have to control our anger. So where is anger actually arise? Anger come from through the body and the speech. So body is like someone, like he physically or showing unpleasant many ways can, create unhappy and our mind through the other's body. So our own mind or our friend or relative, family, someone like our side, then someone use like physically make unhappy. And also someone even not physically body, but it's like speech, harsh words, and also some not, some unpleasant things create unhappy for our mind. So then also we wish our enemies have all these problems. We ourselves, we don't want this. And we wishing anymore have these problems. So that's the reason generate anger, increasing unhappy and so sad, cultivate anger become. So that's we have to recognize where is actually anger is object, which way is coming. Then we have to practice patience. So first is like we have to bear truth, suffering, or we have to practice patience our own suffering. If we don't cultivate practice patience our own suffering, then we cannot practice patience for others. First, we have to practice patience our own suffering. How to do practice that? So the causes of happiness sometimes occur, but the causes for suffering are very many. Without suffering, there is no renunciation. Therefore, mind, you should stand firm. We have to think about this, again and again. So the cause of happiness sometimes occurs. It's like causes of happiness is no much conditions or no much in there coming again and again with us. The causes of happiness is very few. The main point is not that much. But the causes of suffering are very many. Causes of suffering so much in there. So think about our mind is like easily distracting. So emotion, our mind is very emotional. So that's the reason the causes for suffering are very many. So many causes of suffering. So we don't have enough practice patience. We don't have much loving, kindness, compassion in our mind. That's the reason we don't have much causes of happiness. So that's why without suffering, here is no renunciation. If we don't have suffering, we really cannot practice Dharma. That's also we recognize. All the progressively their practitioners practice patience, the true hardship and the difficulty, they practice patience. So the why they practice patience, because they have a good teacher, is suffering. Suffering recognize this samsara is, terrible. Suffering recognize this samsara is problem. Otherwise, we don't recognize samsara is problem. So we have a suffering. That helps renunciation. We really want to free from samsara. Without the suffering, you never ever think about that. So no possible renunciation arises in our mind. Where is the renunciation come from? Renunciation come from is suffering. Long as you have renunciation, then you can practice Dharma. Your Dharma practice can be very successful. So without renunciation, Dharma cannot arise in our mind. That's the reason who has renunciation, then their Dharma is arising in the mind, they have become really strong practitioner. So think about Malarepa and this kind of, or the previous, these special masters, there has a suffering, and then they use that suffering, recognize samsara is terrible, and they want to free from that, and then also they want to help for others too. Without the suffering, you cannot arise compassion for others. So where is the compassion, loving kindness come from? It's also come from suffering. So our suffering, and then we recognize our own experience, then you see the other beings suffering, then really comes love and compassion to others too. So that's we recognize in this world, people who never go through the difficulty and the suffering, they don't care about other beings. They don't recognize. Example, like someone didn't get difficulty, go through the food. They don't think about food is important. The wasting food is just throw regular garbage, same thing, regular garbage, can throw all the food. wasting. So someone like have a hard go through difficulty, get food, then they recognize food is important. They don't wasting food. They don't go just throw the food. It's the same as garbage, throw away. And they really care about food. Same like that, who are go through the suffering and then they recognize their own experience, who has other beings has suffering, then they recognize they really have compassion to the others. So if someone go through difficulty, go through the life is like food, and then they become have good food, but then they see the other people don't have enough food, they really recognize the others suffering and problem. They wanted to share and wanted to help others. So compassion also comes from the suffering. Then this renunciation is also come from suffering. Without renunciation, no possible to dharma practice is successful. Therefore, mind you should stand firm. So that's the reason Shantidevas said, your mind stay very stably and strong and bear through the suffering. So verses 13, if some ascetics and the people of Kanapa endure the pain of cuts and burns for no reason, then for the sake of liberation, why have I no courage? So this is Shantideva, he's sharing in the monastery. That time, in India, there have so many different other religions. So one religion is called, one chokpa is if someone ascetics, and that religion is, I think, is a Shiva. Shiva's followers, and then the Shiva has a concert, and their follower people make offerings, their life to their gods, goddess, or the Shiva's concert. And that's the reason Shantideva says, see, they're doing that. And also another is called Kanapa, and the people of Kanapa is like another group follow the different religions. So they also sacrifice their own body. They torture their own body and offering their own body to cutting, and burned. Especially when the lunar clubs, solar clubs, and they cut the body offering. So the follow they believe their own religion. Then Shantideva told the monks, see, look to these people what they're doing. He said, this is all wrongdoing, not correct. He said, this is wrong. So endure the pain of cuts. See, there is so much suffering. They endured the pain of cuts and the burns. They burn the own body for fire offering for no reasons. See, actually, Shantideva said there are no reason, nothing benefit. That is wrong. He said 100% wrong. That endure and the pain, suffering, whatever there has, is not any benefit. Then for the sake of liberation, why have I no courage? So Shantideva told their teachings for that time is follower the who going to liberation. So he said, we are seeking in the liberation. If you go through hardship and difficulty, you have practice patience, you can liberate. So have like doing effort is not much, but result is big. If you're doing things like you put effort small, but the result is really big there. So Shantideva said, if you do something like endured, then for the liberation, why have I no courage? Why we don't have courage to do that? See, other wrong religion followers doing so much sacrifice themselves. Shantidevas say, no any benefit, so much suffering in this life, no any benefit future life, or is wrongdoing. But there has so much God drawing indoor through suffering. So he said, we are seeking for liberation, and God is free from all the suffering. So benefit future life. That's the reason we need courage. Why have I no courage enough to do that? So example, like use others' example, like cautions ourselves. See, these people doing so much sacrifice themselves, but no any benefits. But still they're doing so much hard work. Then Shantideva say, pointing ourselves, why we not doing? We have so good result there. Why we don't have courage to do that? What happened us, ourselves? So why we do not doing that? He asked question ourselves. Then participation is Shantideva say not that difficult if you are used to. So that's the reason it's verses 14. There is nothing whatsoever that is not made easier through acquaintance. So through becoming acquainted with small harms, I should learn to patiently accept greater harms. So there is nothing whatsoever that is not made easier through, like you habituate practice. Acquaintance. So you use the practice, like become everything is easy for you. If we don't practice, we don't use to, everything is hard, everything is difficulty. So this is also very important verses too. Sometimes we think, we do something, it's not possible to, it's successful. We don't have enough courage and we don't have practice patience. So Shantideva said, there's nothing whatsoever if you really put effort doing things, something, and you can successful. It's easy. Why is it not easy? Because we are not used to, we are not habituate. Something you are habituate, you are used to, then that is easy. So we are not easy for meditation because we are not habituate yet. We are very, very hard to practice patience. The reason is because we are not used to, we are not practice that. We don't have habituate that. So our mind is very easy to influence by emotion. Why? Because we already habituate that. We already used to that. So not only this life, during the many lifetimes, we already used to that. That's why our mind is very easy to follow the emotions. Very hard to go to practice six paramita. The reason is not used to. The main point here, Shantideva says, if you used to practice Dharma, it's not hard. So become easy. Practitioners, we recognize that they are very easy for practice patience, for practice generosity, for practice morality, for practice joyful effort, for practice meditation, wisdom. All this is easy for them. Who cultivate all the time loving kindness, compassion, that person very easy to create loving kindness, compassion for others. That person is very hard to arise anger. Why? Because the person is already used to practice loving kindness, compassion. So ordinary beings, very easy to arise emotion because we are already used to that. So practitioners, very hard to arise anger and emotion because they are not used to that. They are easy to go through the love and the compassion participation because they are already used to that. So that's the reason Shantidevas say, if we are used to something, it's easy. If you're not used to, everything is hard. That's the reason. So through becoming a content with small harms, I should learn to patiently accept great harms. Especially we have something small suffering. We have to bear through that, endure that. We have to endure that. So we have to practice patience, take care of the small sufferings. Otherwise, we cannot accept bigger emotions like sufferings. If you have, you should learn to patiently accept greater harms. So you can like practice patience, small ones, small harms. Then you used to that. Then you are become also easily practice patience. You can accept greater harms too. So that's good too. We have to know. Also, we know some people everything is a comfort all the time. Then they cannot bear through any small difficulties. Someone go through very hardship difficulties, they have more patience and it's easily go through difficulty suffering. So that's we know, you know. Also recognize, you know, like in Tibet, I know the older people has more patience, and because they through the very difficult hardship, and then even they don't get right away food, they're not really hungry, and a little bit heat, they don't suffering, little bit cold, they don't, you know, like lose patience. Heat, no lose patience. Cold, no lose patience. So they can go through that very easy, simple way. But you know, some people who have more comfort, grow up life, and then very easily lose patience. No patience, anything. So that's we know that easy. So then verses 15, who has not seen this to be so with trifling sufferings such as the bites of snakes and insects, feelings of hunger and thirsty, and with such manner things as rashes. So we think about these sufferings. This all suffering is actually main point is useless suffering, no any benefit suffering. Not seeing this to be so with trifling sufferings, see, such as the bites of snakes and insects, feelings of hunger and thirsty, and with such manner things are rushed. So actually, these sufferings you can use practice patience, then you can do practice dharma. Go through hardship difficulty is very easy, not that difficulty. If you cannot go through like kind of bear through this kind of small sufferings, but practice dharma is very hard, not easy. So we can see this, all the practitioners, how the hardship they did, difficulty go through. Then this kind of like small things of suffering actually never disturb for their mind. No any this kind of the things suffering is not lose their own patience. I should not, we go to 16, the verses, I should not be impatient with heat and cold, wind and rain, sickness, bondage and beatings. For if I am, the harm they cause me will increases. So if you don't have a practice patience for this, then everything is distracting. Everything is a problem. So who has practiced patience? Whatever the object difficulty things, they're not going to distract for them. I can really see like when I go with Garchen Rinpoche, he have strong passion. This kind never distract him. So when I was young and become monk, I follow with Garchen Rinpoche. So he always feared like people's wish. What they ask, request him, he never said no. So always he feared their wishes. And we do the dripchin and the nighttime, the daytime, dripchin means like big program. And that is usually organized by the villages. So each village does like every year kind of one dripchin. There does their practice. They're inviting the Gachen Rinpoche and the lamas, teachers, that does like every year one time. So they create like practice, remove obstacle and bring the blessing, something, for protection. So that does that. We do that drupchin, and daytime starting 7 a.m. to until 8 a.m. So we have to do that puja. It's really long puja. And then of course like during lunchtime has like just maybe 1 hour something break. So actually that puja is have to go to 24 hours non-stop. Daytime everyone have to participate. Nighttime we have the 3 different sections, 3 shapes, next sections. So that time, like whole daytime Garchen Rinpoche participate in the puja, and evening we finish 8 o'clock evening, the puja, and 8 o'clock evening, people request him to come to their home to do puja. So now I see that actually the people has so much selfish because the main point is that they really don't know the Dharma that much. They just think it's like Lama come to their home is a blessing and remove obstacle, benefit or something. The only thing about their own benefits actually kind of, still that many Buddhist countries like that. Strong selfish. So evening, then that time is like villages, road is not great, not like this, like easy to get in the car, drive, beautiful road, not like that. And evening they bring the horse. When we finish the puja and bring the horse and then take the horse, ride the horse, have to go to cross sometimes like mountains. So it's terrible road. It's horse only can go, but no other like this, cars, motorcycles, not possible to go. That kind of road, go through. And then think about the weather is in Tibet. It's winter time. Okay? It's actually, there's a coldest country too, top of the world. Yeah? So, no in the car, okay, in the horse. So we take the horse and with the Gachin Rinpoche, maybe sometimes go 2 lamas, 3 lamas, other have to do the like next shop, do the puja. But they go to, and depending, you know, which area, some villages are very close, not that far. So some is like just you can get no need a horse walking distances. But if you have walking distances, you have to go many families one night to do puja. Okay, so if long one is in go can go one, and I shared the one is like many times. The one night they bring the horse, and the Gachin Rinpoche he said, "Come, ask me come with him." So the reason is he knows he have to go far away, and I am that time is the youngest monk, so he wanted to the older monks like next day like not tired to be in the puja in the front row, you know. So I'm youngest one, like I'm somewhere corner. So he asked me come because the reason is like I can go sleep next day. So he asked me come, and the other monks they say, oh, they can go with him. He said, no, no one come. So with that bring 3 horses. Actually, of course, one horse is like belong to the owner, and one horse is a Gachin Rinpoche ride. One horse I rode. Then just take away all the way, and the next time is like I thought I don't know where it's going, endless going, you know. There is already the luckily that night is like moon is very powerful, clear in the sky. So otherwise you cannot see the road, and then it's so cold. Weather is so cold. It's winter coldest time, and cross the very high mountain, you know, and then it's you already cross up, and you have to go down. The horse all the way you cannot ride. You have to take horse with your hand. You know, some area you can ride the horse, some area you cannot ride the horse to go. So we went all the way, and like it's nomads that take us to the nomads place. Nomads means nomads live in the one all the value, and maybe one family, 2 families. Nobody likes winter time live people that kind of area much, you know. Mostly they move to most people live in the village and like more lower place. But to take us all the way like normal place. We did puja and then come back and get back home is like already puja is like morning section is like the corn show is blowing, you know, that means everyone have to join the puja. Okay, so that kind of, you know, that people take, but he never said no because they have strong passion. You know, the weather cold and don't affect it much. And then he cannot go sleep. Gachin Rinpoche joined the whole day puja, but then he whole day joined the puja, but then that evening also have to go to another families. So do the like prayers, pujas, you know, because if we don't do that way, then we don't have much time and no time to do daytime. And each week, different villages, you have to move. So you cannot stay like after finishing the puja and then do the pujas for families individually. No time to do that. Always have to do nighttime. Many times like just coming back in the morning. So like that, you know, that is like they have a practice passion because they can. I see that, you know, I should not be impatient with the heat and the cold. So I saw Gachin Rinpoche and many practitioners, their heat and the cold not really affected much for them. I'm very surprising for that, you know. Cold weather comes, they don't have to put much clothes. Heat weather comes, they just always be same. It's like not that kind of disturbing for them. Oh, see, think about it right now, people here. It's air conditions, 12 months using, you know, heater or air condition. Without that, how can you cannot stay, people? See, that is like no anything because already used to that. Actually, not really great, like wasting lots of energies. So environment affected, so many bad things, but everyone has a selfish, me. I need heat, I'm hot, I need heater, cold. So right away there is like heat off, air condition off, heat. That is so hard, especially in where is the developed country people, no patience. So some place like no developed that much country, there's people has more patience. Especially in US, this Western country people, no patience. We recognize that. Americans, no patience. So easily heat, easily cold, easily distract, easily lose focus. Just same is like immature and the kids, we recognize that here. Yeah. And couple years ago, like we did a program in the Hong Kong with Inwat and Gachin Rinpoche. So one of my friend Khenpo, he has a sangha in the Hong Kong, so he helped organize, and I went there organized together. And we rent a big hall. There's no air condition, so hot. We asked them, please put air condition. Said that no. When you starting puja, we go into air condition. No possible before puja. Air condition. We have to set up everything. So hard, It's the terrible. But the people there who live there, they don't much that kind of the suffering, that thing, that difficulty. Then I went to Malaysia, and all these Dharma centers and the temples, no any heater there. Just things, but weather is very hot there. The people who come in the teaching, no problem. No one say I'm hot. So you go to in Tibet, like very cold, people come in the winter time in the outside, no one say I'm cold. So when we receive teaching from Khenpo Samdup that time, in the Serta Larong, okay, the temple is open. No in the roof there. Just a big round, but it's kind of like, each like the one, maybe like couple of feet is like inside there and all the way around, but the center space is open. Center is cementy, Same as the like we parking lot, cementy. Okay, weather is very cold. If you breathe something, it's like ice comes in the mouth area. He teaching, he stay in the top of the house, and all monks have to stay in the, some who come early, they can stay like in they have some, wooden area, but the round area. But who come late, they all have to stay in the middle center is like cementy, whole thing. We don't have any, kitchens, because we don't have kitchens. What do? We take all the shoes and put in the under the bottom, Just stay in the shoes. It's so cold, like 2 hours listening, teaching every day. No one say I'm cold. No one say I cannot do that, I never heard no one say I cannot do that. Just everyone is just accepting, easy. Yeah, it's all the mindset change, and they can go through that. They have a passion for that. Here, it's little bit heat. Oh, it's so hot. Little bit cold. Oh, so cold. It's no possible. So that's the reason, and Americans go to other country like tourists, like they have so many stories, because not everything is the same as here what we have. go to restaurants. Restaurants, they don't have toilet papers or everywhere, They don't have wash hands everywhere. And so it's no same, it's like this killing. And people don't have patience. It's always hard, so difficulty. So the who live there is there, there's no difficulty. And because it's used to already Shantidevas, if you are used to something, or it's easy. If you know used to everything is problem, everything is distract to you. So that's the reason when you practice Dharma, we need go bear through or need patience for this kind, like if you let it be heat, you no meditate, right away get up, going to use air conditions. Then you let it be cold, you right away get up using heaters and doing these things, then again and again. Where you sit down, you try to meditate, always going on something. Maybe bugs is flying with you, then you lose patience that. Or people makes noisy, you lose patience that. And you never get 100% comfort. Then you never ever get time to meditate practice. Okay, make sense or no? Yeah, so we have to know this, sometimes we don't have to try to get suffering to heat and cold, but some reasons you cannot change, just accept. Okay, so when you cold, put more cloth. Don't think about the heater. When you too hot, then just don't think about air conditioning. Just use take out your cloth, less cloth, and go through that difficult small things. Then it's used to that. You can do more hardship. So less distractions become practice Dharma. I should not be impatient with heat and cold, with and rain, sickness. Of course, sickness, we get sickness, we are so much suffering, but people who has patience, they're sick, but less suffering. Bandage and beatings. Then this is like during this, in the ancient time, Shantideva giving the suggestions for them, because at that time, and no heater, no air conditions, monks, in Nalanda University is a very hot place, weather is hot. So he said, you need patience to practice Dharma. And also sometimes you get, punished from the kings or other people beat you. He said, don't lose patience. So here means bondage and beatings. That kind of, when, we get problems, Shantideva said, don't lose patience. More generate compassion for them. And for if I am, the harm that caused me will increases. So if you small things then you think it's so big problem, then that's become create more increasing, so many distractions, so many problems, endless problem. So now we go to the verses 17. Some, when they see their own blood, become especially bereaved and stirred. But some, when they see the blood of others, faint and feel unconscious. So the depend on your mind, you have to teach your mind. We have to training our mind. So you practice patience. These small problems not going to distract our mind. So we have to create our courage to do something, good things. Then these small problems cannot affect it. And emotions cannot destroy our, mind, happiness. So main point here, Shantideva says, some, when they see their own blood, become especially bereaved and stirred. So the people, fighting. And so you see the person is courageous or not, you can see. In this time, you really don't see the people, someone who don't have courage, they shoot a gun, easily. Because people who don't have courage, they shoot guns easily. Long time ago, people fighting is different. So I don't know, this topic is good for you. I'm going to share a little bit. The fighting, is people fight and they use knife and stone or, like their hand and something like, not the guns during that time, they use stone and a knife or something. There's fight at that time, they see their own bullet. And then they become more courage, more brave. And then the minds become more stable, and then they can subdue the enemies. So when you're ready to fight, and then you don't think about your own blood, you see others' blood, the people lose conscience and lose courage, then that person is no any to subdue other enemies. So you're going to subdue the other enemies. The person mind need courage. The courage is like even you see your own blood, no loss courage, and you become your minds more stable, and you know how to subdue like other enemy. So then also they knows like what they wanted to do, because if you wanted to just others not really going to harm you, you can subdue it like that way, and you can protect yourself, self-protection. You can like like whatever you wanted to do, others subdued like that way you can do. Some say police are like have courages, like the other gang people, whatever, they don't care, they just cut the shoot and the like, legs and the hands. They don't shoot like very sensitive place. Like that kind of, that means like the courage enough to do that. Some don't have courage to do that. They just shoot everywhere and they just put a knife and they care others, create big problems, suffering each other. So courage people can do good way, but subdue the other, and they never lost their what they have to do. Same thing, So when you practice the Dharma, we say we have to fight with our emotions. So our enemy is our emotion, anger. When you're fighting with our emotion enemies, Shantidevas say we need courage and patience. Otherwise, always emotion run over us. So you never ever get practice Dharma, like practice patience is successful. Always this emotion is become successful. So that means Shantideva say your mind needs stable. If your mind not stable, emotion always run for us, run over us. So anger always run over us. Long as you have this, courage, your mind stable, then you see the anger and the emotions. You see the like problem. You have more practice. Patience is more strong and strong. So that is the same as like someone uh, become especially beloved and steady, means like someone see the other blood, their own blood more stable, more strong. We have enemies who harm us, so we have these conditions. Become your minds more stable, your minds more courage. You can practice patience. If you don't have that, your mind is not stable, then we can lose. The same is this, but some when they see the blood of others, faint and far conscious. So then we lose our control and follow the emotion control us. So verses 18. These reactions, some from the mind, come from the mind, being either steady or timid. Therefore, I should disregard harms caused to me and not be affected by suffering. So this like already talked, see, verses 17, you comes like kind of together. So you recognize if your mind is become stable and as long as you have a courage, so this reaction comes from the mind. That always come from our mind. So then being either steady or timid. So you recognize your mind is stable or your mind is like not stable and you don't have a courage or you have a courage, you recognize. So courage and not encourage is where it's come from is because it's like depending on your mind or it's stable your mind. So when emotion arise, your mind is stable, then you can control the emotions, practice patience. Long as you have a you have this your mind is like stable, then either steady. If you are timid, then you cannot control your emotion. You cannot subdue the anger. You cannot practice patience. So that's the reason. Therefore, I should disregard harms caused to me. So that's why we have to practice patience and go through the hardship, difficult, whatever comes. We have to practice patience. Therefore, I should disregard, harms caused to me. It's like disregard with our difficulty, problems, and not be affected by suffering. If you can disregard harms caused to us, then you're not going to get affected by emotions, like you don't get suffering, not be affected by suffering. So that's always true. Long as your mind is stable, you have practiced patience, then small this distraction problems not affected you. They're not affected you, you are not going to get suffering. Then we go to the verses 19. Even when the wise are suffering, their minds remain very lucid and undefied. For when war is being waged against the disturbing conceptions, much harm is caused at times of battle. So, if this is when the wise are suffering, means like who has wisdom, who practice patience, then that kind of people are suffering. The minds remain very lucid and undefied. They don't get emotions affected for them. The suffering not affected for them. So I told you the share the Gachi Rinpoche this story. See, that kind of difficulties no effect for him. Like cold weather, heat weather, and even don't get food the right time, and no problem for them. It's because it's like have participation used to and doesn't affect it. Don't get suffering. So someone always under the air condition and under the heat, always food is there, drink is all the time there, easily lose patience, always easy to get suffering. So the who is the wise means like who has courage, who has practiced patience, they are suffering, their minds remain very lucid and undefied. They don't get suffering. Emotions not affected for them. For when war is being waged against the disturbing conceptions. So much harm is caused at the time of battle. When we fighting with our emotions, when we war with our emotion, Shantidevas said, it's not easy. We need patience and go through very hard and difficulty. Shantidevas said, very hard. So same is like think about you going to war with other ordinary enemies, and you try to get a win. And when you get in the battle, you don't want to run. You want to try to get a winner. And even you get hurt your body, but you go bear through that. You whatever difficulty you are practice patience for through that. So same thing, Shantideva said, for when war is being waged against the disturbing conceptions, we fighting with the emotions. Much harm is caused, so much difficulties at the time of a battle, but as you have courage, long as your mind is stable, long as you have practiced patience, these emotions not going to affect much you. You can be win. You can be winner. So same is here. Even when the wise are suffering, their minds remain very lucid and undefied. The emotions cannot affect it. For the practitioners. Okay, so I think we leave it there today. Verses 19 is finished. So tomorrow we go to verses 20. I really like this participation chapter is. But anyway, this way of Bodhisattva is beautiful. So especially see this patience practice chapter is very important. And who is the practitioner, like who has more compassion, who has more tolerant. So spiritual masters, special beings, everyone use this Shantideva's teaching and practice. They are all successful. So now we have to copy from them, The Shantideva taught this teaching after no one get result. Then we don't have to follow this because beautiful words, no result, right? This teaching is not like that. Shantideva shared this teaching after so many practitioners use this advice, teaching, instruction, use this and practice, they all become successful. They're all successful. So that's the reason we also can be successful. We have to copy that. Right now that we are on the battle, right? Fighting place. So many winners there already. So we are in the better place right now. We have to fight our anger, emotions. So some words you 100% like just memorize, but you easily bring your mind, recognizing the words what Shantideva says. That's really, really help you. Use this participation is like life is changed. The 100% sure. So see, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he always share his experience. He said, like when he was 20, is same as ordinary, have anger, emotions. He received this Shantideva teaching is one Kunut Tenzin Jamso is one old master in India. So it's kind of looks like Shantideva coming back again, It's very special teacher. he has some teachings, 37 practice, and I saw the recording. We do auto recording. I heard that, but no English translations. And I don't know the way of Bodhisattva. I heard he share all the time this way of Bodhisattva, and sometimes the 37 practice. So His Holiness Dalai Lama received that teaching from him, and then Holiness Dalai Lama, he said he practiced this all the time, this Shantidevas way of Bodhisattva. Then he changed life, so become practitioner. So then another way, okay, His Holiness Dalai Lama is like something spiritual, reincarnation. Of course, he can easily change. But another way, he can change, we can change easily because he has so much responsible for so many things. And he don't have time to really practice comparing to us. So we have more time to actually to practice the comparing to Holiness Dalai Lama. He has more responsible people all the time meeting, so many meetings, traveling, doing things. No time too much to practice. We have more time comparing to that. Actually, of course, we can change, use this practice. Okay, so just when anger arises, think about the way of Bodhisattva, chapter, patience chapter. Then think about some words that's really help you change, your transform your, your life. Okay, so we leave it there today, and you have time, evening come back, and we're going to practice once again evening. Then continue tomorrow. We're going to do the dedication together. If you have questions, also we're going to do the question answer is evening, 7 o'clock. Dedication prayer is, I think today no one can share here. Make sure she gets sick, and Maryland have to do lots of things going on. Usually that's shares. So I'm going to chant the Tibetan. You mostly knows what we do in dedication. You just bring that prayer as your mind, and together, dedication. Ma ho ngom sara sanje nangwa da ye da ye se jo du je jen bo da yong de sen ban de jen do nam lai san je san sen ba min ko ji go de jen ngom sara ba de me ba ye de wa jin je sa we yen gan de da yin de ne zen bi jur ma da je wa yin je bar ma ju bar Tere jine na de yang dong yo de ge da ge mo lang da ban de so je san sen dang je ge me ro ba ra sin je la de so ti ya da ben zan de ya a wang bo de na ye so a san jo sem choi rum bo je ma ji ba na ji jo ro je Ji ba nya ba me ba yang gong ne gong den pe wa ri xiu san jiu gong den pe wa ri xiu so nam de ye dam jie zi ba nye ye dang nam ni be da na bam ze de ji ga nam jie ba lang chu ba ye si ben so len wa ri xiu Jiang ba ra ba we jia da ran jian ba dan gen de zang bo de yang de yin de Te da gen je ji se da lo jen ge wan de da tam je ra de ngo. Shi zai gen zai gen jin chi je je dem de ne la wan de zhi gong ba. Ren jian bar je dem ba sen de bar. Xie zhou de zang gong ben zin jor je. Thank you.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank
you.
you.